Okay, so this tutorial, to start with, we're going to have a look at a click track that I've recorded. And the first thing that you'll see in the click track is that I count to 8. The reason I do that is so that all the other band members can count along with the second 4 of that. Okay, so the next bit that I do in this is I leave some space for some talking before the song. My advice is if you're going to have any speech before the song, I would script it out so you know exactly what everyone's going to say. I tried to do it in this video, so I spoke and then left space for other people to speak, but it didn't quite work out because people weren't sure what they needed to say. But you can see that I do some talking and then leave some space for other people.
Well, good day there, Josh. I said a question to you, and then you replied now. And then I say something to Rebecca, and then Rebecca, you say something to Ben.
So that is one way of doing it. As I said, it didn't quite work out as I'd hoped. Once I'd left some space for some talking, I started the song, and you'll notice that I use a metronome for this. I would say it's fairly important to use a metronome to make sure that you stay in time. So all the way through the song, I make sure that I stay with the song structure, and I even give vocal cues. So after this whistling part, there's the banjo, and you'll see that after I've done the whistle, I say, "Banjo comes in now."
Banjo, here we go. Dead love couldn't go no further.
So I then go into singing the song, and I make sure the song structure is what it will be for the final thing. So I leave space for the banjo playing, and the metronome really helps me stay in time there rather than just rushing through those bits, so that everybody building on that track is going to be able to stay in time too. So I then send that video out to my bandmates, and they use that to record along to. The way they do that is they play that video on one device through headphones, and they record themselves on another device, so that when they send me that video, the video just includes the sound from them playing their instrument. I don't want to hear the tempo track back on their video, so it's important they use headphones for that. You'll notice as well on my desktop I keep it really tidy, and as my friends send me the videos, I rename them so I know whose video it is, and I put them in a folder, in this case called In Hell Videos, because this song is called In Hell I'll Be in Good Company. I found it really helpful to make that folder and keep my videos organised, otherwise you would just end up with different videos all over the place. So staying organised is key, and naming those videos is really helpful. To do that, you just single click on that file and you can type in a descriptive name for that video. So now I've gone into Movie Maker and I've opened up a new project, and you want a new movie, not a new trailer. Now the first job is to get my first video, and it's going to be drums in this case, to become smaller so that I can fit all of the videos in one screen. That's the whole point of this. We're trying to sort of multi-track videos. So I drag in a background from that background tab on the left, and then I also drag in one of my instrument tracks. I could choose any of them, but in this case I'm going to use my drummer, because I know I've got a pretty steady drummer. Like, it's likely he's not going to make many mistakes and he's going to stay in time pretty well. Also, he plays throughout the whole song. There isn't any part of the song where he completely stops and then comes back in later. If you've got an instrument that comes in halfway through, do that towards the end of your project. And if you've got a performer who's not quite as confident, not quite as likely to stay in time, perhaps do them near the end as well. So you can see here, I've got those spikes from where that count in is, and I'm going to use them to line everything up throughout the project. So that's pretty handy. Then you can see here, that's where Ben does his talking, and then here, that's where he starts to play the drums. So let's just hear that. Yep, that's sounding good. Happy with that. The video quality is pretty good as well. So that is good. So now I'm going to make that picture a bit smaller. So I go to the tabs along the top. It's worth at this point in the project just having a look at all of these buttons because they're all quite useful. They all do different things that all might be quite useful for you in your project. So have a look at them, see what they do. But we're going to use that one on the left there to make this video picture in picture. And that's what will make it a bit smaller. I can then just drag and drop that to where I want it to be, resize it using those buttons in the corner. I can put a border on it and a shadow, just makes it look nice and neat. And now that video is going to stay there for the duration of the video. So I'm scrolling all the way through now. I just want to check that I've got an ending to that video. I have had a couple of experiences where people have sent me videos and it's cut short for whatever reason. But yeah, I can see that is the end of the song there, so I'm happy with that. Because it's the drums, I'm going to go onto the volume button there and just turn the volume down to about 40%. The reason being, I know the drums don't want to be too much at the front of this track, and they're quite a loud instrument, especially when you've got instruments like banjo and ukulele. So I'm going to turn that down, and now that I'm happy with where the drummer is, I can fit all my other instruments around here. I'm going to go to File, Share, and then File, because I'm going to save that video as a video file, and then I'll be able to save that as a video file. My computer's just taking a bit of time to bring up that dialog box. There it is, and here I can choose all the settings for how it saves that video. Resolution and quality are the two important ones here. I would choose higher resolution if you can, and least medium if not high quality. The only bad thing about that is the better quality is, the bigger that file is going to be, and obviously we're going to be saving a few videos because you can only import 2 videos into iMovie at a time. We need to import the drums, make that smaller, then we import the next track, make that smaller, then import the next track, and so on. So we're going to end up saving, well in this case I'm going to end up saving actually 14 different videos. If each of those videos is 2.8 gig, I'm going to end up taking up an awful lot of my hard drive space, unless I'm deleting them as I go as well. So it's worth bearing that in mind, but you do want as high a quality as you can. In this case, I am going to go medium. And then click next, and that will save. Choose a file name that's going to sort of make sense as you develop through the project. So I've got Ben's drums in here. I could call it Ben Mix, or I think for this one I'm going to call it just Ben. And then I know that I'm going to build up on that video. I'll put the guitar in next over the top of that. I click save, and then this little icon in the top right shows me that that is being saved, and that will sort of turn around as that progress continues. So we've saved our first video. We're ready now to put our next video in.